recording? Where's the dudester? A funny thing happened to me on my way to invading Earth. I am your worst nightmare. Believe that. What's up, George? What's going on in the House of Craze tonight?
Ooh, in the House of Craze tonight, we have Wolf's Bane, a story created by Aaron Jordan, coming up next. And we're going to be talking about coloring and how important it is in your comic books. So check that out on Get Your Meds.
Get your Crayolas. Let's do it.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your meds, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze Podcast. I'm your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man Vera, and I am with
George the Dreamer Medina. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another exciting episode of Catch the Craze. We are recording this show. Today is the 21st. Today is January 21st, and we are pre-recording this show. We have Aaron Jordan on the show today. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, hit the comments, write them up. Sam's always on there returning any messages. So yeah, please make sure to do that. We are on the road, or we were on the road. Well, hopefully we're still on the road to 1,000. Maybe we've already gotten there because we are in the past. But yeah, man. So what's going on with you, Sam? What's happening with you?
what's happening. Sam is working. Sam is grinding.
Sam is working.
Living la vida loca.
Okay.
Yeah. What after Ricky Martin?
I like it. I like it.
Yes.
I like it. We're what is this, third week into January, and we are actually, just so everybody knows, and we do this all the time, but we are in the past recording the future in the present. So it is while it is before Christmas right now, and we're hoping that by January 21st, a lot of positive things have happened. One of them being just more people signing up to our launch pages, and which we will be talking about in a few minutes. But yeah, no, and hopefully by now we are very close to 1,000, if not over 1,000 subscribers. So please help us get there, because yeah, it was quite a year, 2021, huh?
2021. What? 2021. I think I'm done with 2021. A lot of learnings in 2021, a lot of challenges, a lot of heartache, a lot of trauma, a lot of, it's been a roller coaster of emotions. It's, growing for Catch the Craze, learnings about crowdfunding campaigns. It's just been, 2021's been an interesting year.
Yeah, right. And today we're going to talk about one of the aspects of crowdfund. Well, I would say one of the aspects of creating comics, which is the coloring of a comic book. We're going to talk about that in our Get Your Meds segment. But, as we always do, we have an indie news segment that we want to talk to you about the stuff that's going on, indie news with us. So
let's do it. In other news, Tops in the Bronx. Yes. So if you don't know, now you know. If you haven't done so already, sign up to Designated in My Toy. The landing page is live. We want to get to hundreds of people with this campaign. It's a campaign that's near and dear to me. The little green guy, he's right behind me. You see him standing right there, chilling like a villain. It's an all ages comedy series. It's full of crazy antics, humor. You're definitely gonna laugh out loud. A lot of critic reviews you can see on the screen. Hilarious and endearing by Curled Up with a Good Book. An absolutely hysterical KDKA radio. And if you want to learn more about Designated in My Toilet, there's a docuseries that's running that gives you the history of Designated in My Toilet. You know, we look at the past and we look towards the future. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's awesome. And that's just the beginning because the campaign launches on February 15th. So in about a little under a month from this airing, you will be able to actually go into Kickstarter and hit pledge so you can get the book. And the book's going to have some incredible covers, some really, really good, just funny. The first issue is very funny. Good story. You're going to have some, obviously swag that's going to be thrown in there. So yeah, it's chock full of a whole bunch of different things. And so yeah, make sure that you sign up for that pre-launch page that's live right now. The link will be in the show notes. And so make sure you do that. And don't forget that February 15th is the actual launch of the campaign. So a little under a month.
And there will be a live launch party. It's going to be fun. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's going to to be dope.
There's a lot of great things coming from this Tuesday.
Yeah, it's going to be live. So definitely want to show up to that. And what else? Oh, and then also there is a pre-launch page for the Adventures of Wonderduck that is on right now as well. So if you get a chance, also go down there and boop, hit that notify me button. The link will also be in the show notes. And so once it goes live, we'll have it on there. And that campaign, though, doesn't go live until spring.
Like 2024, I think it is.
Yeah. So it's the pre-launch page.
That's the Boondocks.
Way in advance. Yeah, way in advance. But yeah, so we have a few things going on. The big thing, I'm telling you, man, you guys are going to want to, get notified for both of these books. Duty's coming out first, and that's going to be fun.
I have a question for you, George.
Yeah.
Did you anticipate the fact that you're launching this at the time that you're going to be at MegaCon?
Yes.
Yeah? You lying son of a biscuit eater.
No. So I always wanted to launch. Oh no. Did I know that that convention is in May? Yeah. I didn't know when it was, but when I found out when it was, I decided, maybe I should be out there to do it. So
smart.
It kind of worked out.
It's smart.
Yeah, it kind of worked out.
If the people that pick up the first volume at the con, you can say my campaign for the second volume is going right now.
Oh yeah. And they're gonna have a chance to sign up there or have the QR code. Yeah. So when you guys head out to the convention, if you guys are gonna be in the Orlando area at MegaCon, stop by the table. We'll have some more information about the booth numbers and all that other stuff. Sammy, are you gonna be there? Definitely.
If you're booking it Friday, I'm booking it Friday.
Okay. Cool. And of course, that is Friday of the past.
The past.
Friday of the past.
What are you guys talking about?
I know. But yeah, man, it's exciting because, and hopefully, this is the thing about recording so far in advance. And not that it's so far in advance, we're about a month behind, but we don't know what it's going to look like even still, we don't know what things are going to be looking like in 2022.
No, not at all. Especially, and that's why I try to stay away from the news, because the more I look at the news, the more anxiety I get, the more anger I get. People acting crazy all over the world. People are acting crazy in certain states. It's just like apocalypse now. It's like the purge. And I'm like, I can't watch this stuff. So I just try to focus on putting out positive energy. And so I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. I just know that work today, do your best job today. Hopefully it benefits tomorrow.
Yeah. So it's almost like a wish list. We wish to be at the con in May. We are hoping that all of that happens. As of right now, everything is still, as of this recording, everything is still a go as far as our projects. Sam obviously has the pre-launch page, or the landing page, he calls it, and you guys can definitely sign up for that, because the campaign will launch on February 15th. So that we know. That we have planned for. So as long as everything goes well, we will be doing that. So yeah, that's indie news. I mean, we definitely want to give a shout out to all of our other podcasting friends who are out there. Big shout out to Nita Lang and Meredith. I always mess up her name, so I'm just gonna call them Nita and Meredith. And from the Raging ABC
Lundgren.
podcast.
Meredith Lundgren.
Yeah, so they have a podcast called The Rage in ABC. Make sure you check that out. If you look at our channel, it'll be one of our featured channels as well. So we have them there. We have Nerds of the Round in there, the Comic Book School. I just noticed that today, The Art of Samuel Vera, which doesn't get enough shine.
That's because I haven't promoted it as much as I've been promoting Cast the Craze. It's there when Samuel pops off as a creator. So it's there as a backup, but right now the primary focus is Cast the Craze. But if you want to see some old art stuff that I've done, go to The Art of Samuel Vera. But right now, Cast the Craze is the one location for everything.
Yes. And if you guys are on Instagram, make sure you hit up our Instagrams. We have a few of them. One for pretty much everything we do. So there's a lot of content up there for you guys to check out. So definitely check out the links down below for everything.
Yes.
But yeah, man. So what else are we talking about today? We are going to be talking about coloring, right?
We're going to be talking about coloring. You want to go to Indie News?
Let's do. Get your meds.
Get your meds.
It's time for your medicine.
Is it all in the colors? Colors. Look at that. Colors. Beautiful. That is fantastic.
Look at those colors, man.
I know.
Yeah, they did a tremendous job.
See, George is correcting me because I said, "Look at that colors." I use singular and plural in the same sentence.
Look at the colors. Yeah, look at them colors. No, it's amazing. So it's funny because we always have like these. We call each other, and I'm like, "Yo, Sam, we're gonna need a topic for today." I guess that was on your how did you come up with this one? It was in your head.
Yeah, because the colorist that did this piece right here that we're looking at of Duty, she really nailed it and understands the look for this style of art. And fantastic colorist. And so it dawned on me. I've worked with several colorists over the years, and some just didn't work out because they just couldn't cut it. So what do you do? What is it that you use as a determining factor for a colorist for a specific project? What are some of the criteria you're looking for?
Yeah. I think it really depends on the project, right? Because if you're doing something like this, like Duty, for example, you want something that's colorful, that's gonna attract the eye, like that piece that we're looking at right now. The colors are vibrant, they pop, but not every book that you write or not every book you put out looks the same. Right. And part of it is the coloring, right? Because you want to set a mood. If you're doing something that's darker, that's more serious, you don't want these colors on the book. You want something that's a little more muted, a little less saturated, a little more browns and maybe just darker colors that you're gonna have in there. So I think it really all depends on the book you're writing. It depends on the book you're writing. We have a guest on today, Aaron Jordan, who has a book called Wolf's Bane. And if you look at his book, the coloring in his book is darker, it's grittier, because it's about werewolves. And so it really all depends on it. But I think the one factor that has to be the same throughout is that it has to be well done. It has to look right. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, the palette is one thing, but you have to be able to execute the coloring, the lighting, and all of that other stuff. That is major when it comes to choosing your colorist. You want somebody who not only understands colors and how they work together, because that's a science in itself, but also the lighting and the mood and what the colors are going to do for that mood.
Because I can tell you right now, and I really admire colorists of this caliber because they're able to see things a little differently, like the smoke, the clouds of smoke, the tones of reds. I wouldn't have thought of that, right? But they have a third eye. They're able to see things from a different perspective. So when I seen this final piece, I was very impressed. I was like, oh, because I'm thinking typical grays tones or whatever. And I think the style of comic book, whether it's a period piece, whether it's an action figure, a superhero comic, whether it's a detective comic, the pairing of the colorist to the artist is critical for how the public's going to perceive that book. Knowing when to just use, like when you're doing flashbacks, knowing that flashback scenes only have a couple of colors, right? It's either one shade of blue in different gradients of blue, one shade of brown in different, whether it's beige, tan, whatever, bronze, rust. When you're doing flashbacks, there's like, it's almost as if you're looking at through an old film, right? So the colorist has to know that. And sometimes the writer is not well versed in it, so you have to trust that the colorist is going to be able to capture it, and you got to be able to identify when it's not right on point. I'll give you an example. Is I had a few, forbidden. There were some pages I sent back because the colors were too vivid, or the colors just didn't make sense. And while the colorist was fantastic, the colorist is used to specific colors. But for this specific piece, the colors were different. And so I understood that. So we there was some back and forth, and there were some times where I just went and I did a sample and I sent it in. I said, this is the tones I'm looking up for. And but not all writers are able to do it. I have the benefit of being an artist and a writer. And so it's really critical that you are able to know exactly the look. Because sometimes independent comics creators, they don't have a big budget, and they're just happy to get a colorist that they can afford. Yeah. And sometimes you're stuck with whatever it is that colorist is going to give you. But when you're in the creative, you're in the control seat, you need to control the direction of it, and the colors can make or break that project.
Yeah. And I mean, I think coloring is one of the toughest things to kind of, I don't know, I mean, and maybe if people have done it for a long time, they feel like, it's easy. But it's very time consuming, I feel. Like, to be able to put all of that stuff together and coloring it and making it look the way it looks, making sure that you're not overdoing it with the colors. There's not too much shading, or, to keep everything consistent. Like, if I did this style of coloring here, I'm not going to add shadows and shading and go overboard on this side. Yeah. Everything's got to be the same from page to page. So there's a lot that goes into it. I think that coloring is almost like when you're a writer and you send your script out to your artist, and you trust that your artist is going to give you top-notch stuff. And it's like, sometimes you'll write something on a script and you'll send it to the artist, and the artist draws it in a way that you never even imagined it could look that way, and you're pleasantly surprised by it. Yeah. Same thing with a colorist. You send something out to a colorist, it comes back, you're like, oh my God, I never even envisioned or thought of putting the smoke there, or putting this, effect on the page to make it look a certain way. You were talking about flashback scenes, and flashback scenes for the most part, when you look at it in the comic book, to make it look different, they're either muted colors, they're single colors, they're whatever it is. It's always cool to see what that colorist is going to do to that page to make it look different, so that it doesn't look like everything else. Yeah. So there is that also that goes into it.
Yeah, especially, and again, I always require the layered files. So whenever I commission a colorist, I always ask for the PSD. Get everything back in layers, because if number one, I'm a student of the game, so I want to see this their approach. But number two, when I'm adding titles or anything like that, I want to be able to either put it behind or whatever, move things around, and but what are the things, I can also be able to say, this layer here, can you change this tone here, or can you do this here? It just makes all the difference in the world. And most of the time they'll send me a PNG. What do you think? Do you need me to change any colors? Blah 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 blah. And sometimes I have to sleep on it. Sometimes I'll look at it and I'll process it and I'll think about it and I'll sleep on it, and then I'll go back and it's like, oh, here are my notes. But this colorist specifically just nailed it, and it's important. Just like the artist is important for the project. I always said forbidden. I wasn't the right artist which is why I looked towards other artists to do the book. Same thing. you have to know your strengths, your limits, and then you also want to make sure that you know picking that right color is it's like it's either do I add salt to this dish or not, right? So could that salt can either make it or break it.
Yeah. And now the other question is, where do you find colorists? Right? Because I'm sure if people are watching the show right now who are trying to get into it, and they're wondering, how do I find a colorist? Where do I go to find a colorist? Where have you gone to find your colorists?
At the end of the rainbow.
At the end of the rainbow.
Somewhere over the rainbow, colorists lie.
Wow.
So,
Oh, snap.
All of my colors that I'm working with today, that I've been working in for the past 2 years, I got them on Fiverr.
Yeah. Yeah. Fiverr is big. I know that people have talked about.
It is less stressful on Fiverr than it is any other form. I found that when I'm going through like DeviantArt or whatever, it becomes stressful because if you use the forum to say I'm looking for this, you got a lot of knuckleheads challenging you on your budget or this or that. With Fiverr, you just go in, you create an account, you put in your budget. This is the project, this is the timeline, this is a sample, blah, 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 right there. And then people can either bid on it or not. But that's it. There's no back and forth, that craziness that you would get from like the spectators who always want to chime in and put their nonsense in.
Yeah, I think it also protects you monetarily because you're able to put the money in there. It doesn't go anywhere until you actually get a file. And the same thing on the other side. These people aren't just working and they don't know if they're going to get paid for their work. Yeah, you are going to get paid for the work. So Fiverr works very well as a middleman between the two parties to keep everybody honest.
Yeah,
so
and I've been lucky. I've been lucky. Everybody I worked with on Fiverr, from the animators to the musicians to the colorists and the artists, I've gotten lucky.
Yeah, no, it's a legit website. And if Fiverr, if you want to sponsor a show, hit us up. Let us know. We were giving you a little shine here. Word. But yeah, definitely check that out because that's actually a really good platform. You can always go on the social networks. You can always go on Instagram. If you like a colorist on Instagram, you can always hit them up, send them a message. Hey, I'm working on this book. How much do you charge? And go through all of that stuff. That obviously you can do that.
I haven't got time for the pain.
No, I'm just saying.
Those are great options.
Options.
I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
I found my artist on Instagram. I found my Facebook. I just don't like the back and forth. I just want to say, here's what I have to offer. This is what it entails. Take it or leave it. I don't want to have to go back and forth or hear somebody else chiming in and saying, well, you should be paying more or this is that. Yeah, I don't want to hear that. This is all I can afford. Let's go.
But if you're doing it on like say you're not gonna like if you're on Instagram, you're not putting that on one of their post. Like
no.
You're gonna DM them separately. So that transaction is gonna be one-on-one regardless.
Oh, yeah.
My thing with that is what I just like basically what I said is the money. How do I know that I'm going to get the work that I'm paying?
That's why I use Fiverr, because it protects me.
That's more the reason why I would use it. Not so much the back, because you're gonna have back and forth regardless. You've gotten lucky with artists who take the criticism or take the suggestions or whatever and just make the changes and don't battle you on every single change you're making. I think you should do it this way because I'm the colorist. I know what I'm doing. I'm not changing it. There hasn't been any of that, which I'm sure there probably could be.
Of the 12 people that I've worked with on Fiverr, only one of them didn't pan out.
Right.
So I'll take those odds any day.
Yeah, no, definitely. I personally think Fiverr is also a great place to find any kind of work that you need. And you obviously it's so easy because the negotiations happen right then and there. This is what I have. Can you do it for this amount? Yes or no? Yes or no? Boom, done. And it's done. You know what I mean? It's really
it's easy. And I love it because whenever I post a job, I haven't posted any jobs in a year now because everybody I've been using were from Fiverr and we just continue the relationship. But when I did post the job, I said, well, this is what it is. All you get is everybody saying, and you know what's even crazier? You'll get people say, you know what, I'll do it for less, or I'll do it for this, or whatever. But be mindful, because they might not be up to the caliber you need. So that's what I like about it. You get to see all the portfolios. You can put the requirements, and one of the things I say is that I'm a big communicator. So it's just timely communication. I give all the details up front. You know, it's I hate working with people where they just disappear. You don't know what the hell's going on, and you're like, is the project still going? We got caught that way. Remember?
Yeah.
We thought the project was going. 30 days later, next thing you know, we launched a campaign and the project's not even started. So that's why Fiverr, I'm protected. You know.
Yeah, no, nobody gets paid until work gets done, and you don't get work done until you pay. So,
Word.
you know, it's a good back and forth. But yeah, that's a good place to find them. You know, obviously there's social media networks, but I think the key to finding a good colorist is knowing what you want. You know, having in your mind, say, okay, I know what I'm looking for. I know what I want.
Yes.
I know how much I'm willing to pay for it. And remember, you get what you pay for sometimes. Unless you're an incredible negotiator and you just know what you're doing, you know, as far as like, you know, convincing people to do things for a little bit less, whether it's you promise them, you know, quantity. And so they say, oh, you're giving me, you know, 100 pages. Yeah, I'll do it for a less rate or whatever. Then you're able to get less for whatever you're paying for. But you got to be mindful. Sometimes you get what you pay for, so be careful. And the colorist can make or break a book, bro. Like, don't be confused. That coloring can really make or break any artist. And you ask any artist who's had bad coloring on their work, I'm sure they'll tell you that was the worst experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, I could have colored that cover, but I'm not at that level. I'm nowhere at that level. So I wanted a pro, and so I reached out to my connect. I went to my connect, and I was like, "Yo, hook a brother up." And so this connect has done all the crazies for me. And it's doing all the duty covers that I'm doing. So you know, and that's another thing. I'm very loyal. So when I find somebody that's legit, you as long as I have work, you'll be the first on my list. That's the way I work.
Well, you know what it is. There's just so many duds out there that when you find something good, you want to stay with it because there are so many, you know, that don't pan out sometimes. Yeah. So yeah, when you find something that's working, why change it? Unless they get busy. Unless all of a sudden they can't do it and now you got to go looking for something else. But yeah, no, coloring is very important, and we thought we'd address it today. We talk a little bit about the coloring, just so you guys know that artwork that you're seeing on the screen will be available on the campaign, so you can get your hands on that bad boy once the campaign goes live. So that is
that's a cover B. That's actually a cover B for There's the End of My Toilet. So you can definitely get that. And I see that our guest is in the waiting room.
All right,
so
let's
that
talk
means
to Aaron.
so again, we offer sponsorships. You can sponsor an episode, get your 30-second promo on the show. Oh, you don't want to hear from me? Here it is.
Are you sitting at home wondering how you're going to spread the word about that Comic-Con that you're about to appear at, and you want to get some press? How about your first book signing? How do you spread the word so you can get an audience there? Or that first panel at a Comic-Con? Who do you talk to? Or even your first crowdfunding on Kickstarter or Indiegogo? The world is turning to podcasting to get the word out. Why not you? Sponsor an episode of Catch the Craze and start promoting yourself today.
All right, we're bringing in our guest right now. All right. Joining. There he goes. And he's got the same chair as I got.
Oh, really?
What's up, buddy?
What's going on, Aaron? How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. Thanks for inviting me on.
Yo, absolutely. Welcome back, everyone. We are back with Catch the Craze. We are talking to Aaron Jordan, and we're going to be talking to him about his really, really good book, man. I read your book, Wolf's Bane, that is out right now, right, Aaron?
It's out. It's going to be out in 2022. Right now, I'm trying to work on my fulfillment for my Kickstarter.
Beautiful. Awesome. Yes, it looks really, really good. So just for everybody who doesn't know who Aaron Jordan is, by the way, I'm a big Michael Jordan fan. Jordan is a very, very, very good name. Tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Tell us where you grew up and how you got into this crazy comic book business.
Give me 1 second. So I was into comics as like a little kid. I used to be a big fan of the classic Spider-Man comics and the Raimi Spider-Man. So it all kind of jump started from there. I was an amateur artist back then. I drew these little comic books, like the stick figure doodles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love doing that, man. But as I got older, I actually didn't get back into comics and comic making again until like college. So right now, this is my first official project, and I'm actually having a lot of fun with it so far.
Yeah, no, it looks really, really good, man. It looks really, really good. Did you what was like the first? So you're a big Spidey fan, right? So what was your first Spider-Man book that you picked up? Do you remember what the first Spider-Man story that you read was?
Believe it or not, it was actually a reprint of the Amazing Spider-Man with the Chameleon. So I'm thinking Amazing Spider-Man #2 or number 1. It was one of those.
So it was a reprint. So that got you right into it, huh?
Oh, definitely.
Did you want to draw comics, or did you want to write comics at that point? Like, were you more like an artist? I know you talked about the stick figures, but were you trying to take the like drawing of comics seriously, or were you more into like, you know what, I'm gonna write?
I was definitely more of a drawer. I think I used to have this whole binder of art where I just drew everything I wrote. A lot of it was like more parody writing. Parody drawing. So I have no idea what I did with that. So I kind of got discouraged and I took a new path, and I miss drawing back to the level that I used to be. It was still amateur, but it was mine. But
Yeah.
writing is still fun.
Yeah, no, writing is dope. Sam, you got a question or?
No. So I just want to know more about your background. So, what were some of the influences outside of comics that where you were growing up?
Growing up, I'd say it's like the whole genre of storytelling in general. I used to read a bunch of fantasy books. My favorite one being Artemis Fowl. It had a really good way of world building. Like, it knew how to tell a story and incorporate a fantastic fantasy world that you could just dive right into. And also movies like The Terminator, Matrix. That also pushed me to want to do this like high action stuff but on the page.
So was there a specific creative, whether it's a writer or a producer or
okay,
artist?
my bad.
Yeah. So who is it that actually you said, you know what, I want to do what that person does? What was it about it?
Definitely Alex Ross. Alex Ross, to this day, is my favorite artist. The way that he just draws these like painted figures, and they look so lifelike, and like you really get to see a lot of emotion and depth in the characters that you're reading about.
Right. Nice. So what was the first Alex Ross piece that you picked up or book?
I'd say like a lot of new readers like myself. I think it was Kingdom Come. Kingdom Come was a pretty good book. I liked it. But if I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really have that much money growing up as a kid, and so I used to just go online and just look at all his pictures and stuff. My favorite one is the Spider-Man one, where he has his face is all close to the camera and you can see like his facial features.
Yeah.
Alex Ross is a heck of a painter, and then just his artwork is just incredible.
Yeah, he had a museum at Wizard World. I think it was 2008, Chicago. Chicago, and they had a entire room set up as a museum for him, and they had the Superman from Kingdom Come statue, life size.
That's awesome.
And he was there doing signings. It was pretty dope.
Yeah. No,
I
Alex
wish I
Ross
could be
is the
there.
man. Yeah, Alex Ross is the man. Do you do conventions, Aaron, or have you been? I mean, obviously before the pandemic, did you go to conventions? Did you kind of do that kind of stuff before everything shut down?
Oh yeah. I started doing it a little bit. I was gonna plan on doing more until the pandemic hit. Like I live in South Jersey, so the only one that I could really go to is this thing called Geek Fest that's near my town. Pretty good experience. I think the first one that I went out of state to was the Philadelphia Comic Con.
Okay. Yeah, no, you know what's funny? Jersey has a lot of shows, man. Like they have a lot like smaller shows, not the big shows, but they definitely have throughout Jersey. You'll always see shows pop up that you can go and you know and do and check them out. Now you did mention that you had a Kickstarter for your book Wolves Bane. When did you do that? When was that Kickstarter? When did it come out? Oh, I think you froze.
Yeah.
You froze?
Yeah, he's frozen.
Oh, I thought it was me. I thought I was frozen.
No, he's frozen.
Oh, we lost Aaron.
Aaron, can you hear us?
I think we lost the connection. Uh-oh. Let's see if we can get it back.
Yes.
Yeah, but until he gets it back, I didn't know that Alex Ross had how long ago was that, the Alex Ross exhibit?
Maybe it was earlier than 2008. I went there with, I think it was Robert Garrett, rest in peace.
Really?
And we went to Wizard World Chicago, and they had an entire exhibit with all of his paintings on a wall. He'll be back.
Yeah, his
let me move that out my way.
He's got technical difficulties.
Yeah, with all his paintings on the wall, it was amazing. I got photos of me standing there next to some man doing, making faces, and it was pretty dope. It was a great life size, exactly how he painted it on the cover. It was dope.
Yeah, did he do the entire Kingdom Come book? Was that all him? Because
it was painted.
Always with Alex Ross, I always thought of like just the covers that he did. He did all the interiors.
I think Kingdom Come, he did the whole thing.
Damn. Yeah. No.
And at his page rates,
Yo.
I saw the CBS special that he was on. I mean, he was all over the news, bro.
Really?
Yeah, they went to his house, did a tour. It was crazy.
Yeah, Alex. Where's he? I wonder where his house is. Maybe I don't know. You know how the Frazetta Museum? There's a Frazetta Museum. I wonder if there's something like that for Alex Ross. Yeah. Because he's been in the business for a long time, and a lot of his stuff is just iconic, bro. Like the way he draws. I mean, a lot of those characters are basically him. You know what I mean? They're all like self portraits. Yeah. But no, he
uses he's a photographer too. So what he'll do is he'll photograph people and things and whatever to get the right lighting and shading and all that. Yeah. So he uses similar, like Jed does.
Like who?
Jared Winsborough.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, they do a lot of that. Yeah. Photorealistic stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that extra work.
That's a lot.
That's a whole lot of work.
No, but you know what? He enjoys it. It's funny because I did one of those photo shoots with him, and he really just has everything mapped out, man. Like with everything is mapped out.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's really cool. But yeah, so we lost Aaron. Hopefully he comes back soon.
Yeah.
We were talking to him about Wolves Bane, his book that he had a Kickstarter for. I didn't even realize he had one. Jeez, I'm losing my voice over here. What's going on?
I don't know, bro. Get the sanitizer.
Holy cow! I'm like, I need some water.
Yeah, that's why I always have a glass of water. Usually have coffee and water. If not coffee, then I have wine and water.
Yeah, technical difficulties, guys. Technical difficulties. We were having a nice conversation with Aaron, but if we don't get him back, just make sure that you guys. He sent us a lot of information about his company, which is Wolfsbane Comics. You can always go to wolfsbanecomics.com, WULFSBANE. That's wolfsbanecomics.com. On the website, you can actually see some of his products, some of his books that he's got on there. He's got Wolfsbane #1. Physical and digital. I don't know when they will. Hopefully by the time this airs, they're available. But the book is great. I read it today, right before we came on. Very good. it keeps you entertained. It's a story about a werewolf. And I know people will say, oh, werewolves are, so many people write about werewolves. But I think for me, it's about how you write it, right? Everything's been pretty much written.
Yeah.
It's really how you write it and what angle you take. And, it's a very well-written book. It's, you follow these two detectives who will come to a home.
Yep.
And a girl has been attacked by a werewolf.
Yeah.
And it's very well done. Very well done. The way
Yeah,
she
one of
places
the
it.
one of the detectives is obnoxious. If you go to a scene, a crime scene, and you're like, I got this, and you're going up the stairs by yourself, then you deserve what you're gonna get. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, I'm coming. Yo, I got this. It's like that. I was like, really? Oh, hell no.
Yeah,
It's
it's funny. You really get into these characters.
Yes,
like,
I do.
You start shitting on these characters. Like, why would you do that, bro? Like, come on, man. And you know what? Because it's funny. So for those who are watching the show right now, check out What's in the Box. Okay, What's in the Box is one of our episodes that we do on the channel. Sam does it just about every week. He'll take a comic book, he'll go through the pages, and he'll basically tell you what's going on in the pages. But every single one of them is always like, oh, what is he doing? Oh, come on, I would never do that. And sometimes you'll be like, damn, dude, like he's down on the writer. And it's not about the writer, it's about the decisions that the characters are making within the book.
Yes.
Yeah, it's about the decisions that the characters are making within the book. Because remember, when we're writing, these characters are real people. And these decisions that they're making essentially is their decision. Obviously, we're writing it, but it's their decisions that they're making, and they can impact the book depending on what they decide to do. So it's always funny to hear you go off like you're right now. You're one of those freaking detectives.
I was getting pissed. I was like, really? I said, you crazy? You imagine? Yeah, you gotta see. The woman is there, her clothes are torn or whatever, and you hear a boom, a big bang upstairs. Oh, I'll go by myself. You got a squad of cops, and I'll go by myself. Oh, hell no. You deserve what you're going to get when you get up there.
Oh, man, yeah. So he leaves it with a really, really good cliffhanger that makes you ask questions about what's going to happen next. So very well done. I really did enjoy the book. It was a quick read.
They got a new person in there. I'm hoping it's just him. Let's see. It says Galaxy S9. Let's see. I don't know who Galaxy S9 is.
Maybe he's on his cell phone or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Galaxy. There he is. What's up, Aaron? Oh, his audio's coming. There he is. Oh, no audio. There he is. We got you now.
Oh.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Yeah, you're muted.
There you go.
Got it.
There you go. Yeah, we were just killing time, man. We were talking about your book while you were getting back on. We were just talking about how we enjoyed it, man. How the book is called Wolfsbane, but we're gonna let you talk a little bit about it now that we're on it. So you were talking about world building, right? World building is important to you. Tell us a little bit about Wolfsbane and the world of Wolfsbane. How did that story come about, and some of the characters that are in it?
So the story of Wolfsbane kind of started as a little, like a melting pot of what kind of cool stuff could I make and how could I make it over the top. So it started off with this like crazy werewolf. He was ransacking this town. But then over time I thought, what's the werewolf like? Like what does he like? What does he do? Why does he do what he do? So that kind of delved into this sort of detective story where you have the werewolf being on the run from these two detectives, and it shifts perspectives between the three of them. So originally it was just going to be a werewolf, but I decided that I was gonna make the world of Wolfsbane incorporate like more like monsters, legends, and all stuff like that. And I'm very excited to show you guys what's gonna be going on in issue 2 as we dig further into that.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, brother. It's awesome. Now, why werewolves though? Like I was just talking to Sam. Like werewolf stories. Obviously, we've known werewolf stories forever, right? What made you write about a werewolf? Why a werewolf?
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Werewolves are my favorite monsters.
So it's just I like werewolves, bro. Those are my favorite.
Dude, like the ferocity of the werewolf, the human aspect of it. Like he's a guy that does like the werewolf is usually this beast that does terrible things, but behind that is a man, and you have to sympathize with that on some level, even if the man is like a piece of crap sometimes, you know.
You have a really cool image in the book where you get a nice close up of the face of the werewolf, and you see and you look into his eyes. It's really well done, bro, because it almost made me feel like I was watching a movie where it's like you got this one close up. Was that something that was written in the script, or was that something that your artist kind of just brought that and said, yo, we should do it like this? How did that scene happen?
Believe it or not, I think it's like a little bit of both. I always wanted like the monster to I wanted you to look at its face and see empathy or confusion in it. But my artist Thomas Mulder, man, huge shout out. He made that thing pop. And if you're looking at the art for the second book too, oh shoot.
So we were also talking before you came on. We were talking about where we find our talent, right? You're a writer. You're writing the book. Now you need an artist. How did you find your artist? Where did you find your team?
Oh, definitely. Most of the work that most of the people that I've gone to have been from Fiverr.com. It's a really good service.
Yeah. It's funny. We were just talking about that too. Fiverr. That seems to be like the way to go because it's safe, right? It's like you pay, they do the work, they don't get the money until they send you the work. So everybody's covered. So that's excellent. That's interesting that you also use that. How long does it take them to do a page for you?
Honestly, he's very quick. We were talking about doing the second issue. I believe like a couple days ago, and he already came at me with good pencils. And after I prove it, he usually gets done the inks in like 2 to 3 days.
Damn.
So he's really fast.
Nice.
That's awesome, man.
Nice. So what's your goal for your project, and what's your goal for yourself in comics?
Honestly, for this project, I want to be able to tell at least, I'd say like 3 to 4 good arcs, before, just in case stuff doesn't work out, the book's not that popular, but at least I got to do it, Mm-hmm. And in the long run, I have a lot more ideas that I want to push out. I have a lot of genres that I want to try. Comedy has been one of my muses. Same thing with like fantasy and drama. So I want to do something along those lines too.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's definitely you're definitely on the right track, man. This book is really, really, really good, and so this episode airs in January, so January 21st. Where do you see this by the time this airs on the 21st of January? Will you have this book out to the people who pledged maybe on Kickstarter? Will it be available on your website? How can they get their hands on this book, or when can they get their hands on this book?
Definitely. January 22nd. Yeah. Definitely. The book I hopefully will be out by then on my website. I'd say a few people will be able to get it from the Kickstarter that I did. A lot of financial setbacks happened. I had to move. Yeah. A whole lot happened. So I'm still trying to recuperate while trying to fulfill my promise.
There you go. And do you have a second Kickstarter coming up for the second issue? Is that in the plans?
Second Kickstarter for the second issue? Yeah, it's going to be happening down the road. I just want to make sure it's absolutely perfect before I launch it.
There you go. Yeah, no, good idea, man. Good idea. And for those who are watching, tell us where they can find you. Give us your social handles and all that other fun stuff.
Okay, gotcha. You can find me on I mainly use Instagram and Twitter, Wolfsbane Comics, with a U. And you can also sign up to my email from wolfsbanecomics.com. That way you can see what's going on the site. I'll try to I'm gonna be pushing out news on there pretty soon.
Sweet.
And any plans for 2022 appearances? Any shows you have going on for 2022?
Shows.
At conventions.
2022. Yeah, I plan to be doing. I'm trying to find one or two conventions that I can make an appearance in. One is gonna be South Jersey Geek Fest. Hopefully I can make Philadelphia Comic Con, or probably travel to New York Comic Con. That's one of my dreams.
There you go. Awesome. Yeah, so here you have a captivated audience. Give your elevator pitch. Why Wolfsbane?
Oh, because Wolfsbane is Wolfsbane is a book where being a werewolf isn't the biggest problem that you have.
Wow. There you go.
Aaron, thank you so much. Fleas.
Thank you so much, man, for being on the show. Really appreciate you, man. We're definitely gonna let us know when the second book come out, because I'm definitely interested in reading the rest of this story. It's a very, very good book. So for those watching, when it comes out, make sure you get it. All your information will be in the show notes below. So please, support indies and make sure that this gentleman's book gets out into all hands of everybody. So thank you so much, Aaron. We appreciate you, man. Later.
Peace.
Take care.
Right.
You got it.
All right, man.
All right. So that was Aaron. And again, Wolfsbane. I can't get this out of my face. Yeah, my face.
Yeah, man. I love it, man. Everybody's got a story. You know what I mean? We're all so creative. Everybody's got a story to tell. I love the fact that, hey, listen, man, I like werewolves, and I wanted to tell a story about a werewolf, but give them a little more humanity. And actually, it's funny because this is the second werewolf story that we've had in the last few shows, where the werewolf was actually an empathetic figure. It wasn't just a savage animal. He actually was a good guy. So, yeah, very good book. Check it out when the book comes out.
I think traditionally you're taught to be afraid of monsters, but monsters are just trying to survive, right?
Yeah.
And so they're just as much afraid of you as you are of them. They just know that you're going to react a certain way, so they have to defend themselves, so they're going to attack first. Right. You don't want to get hit first, because that could be the one that ends you. So.
Right.
I'm very empathetic.
Yeah. Nah, but it was good. Aaron Jordan, big, much success to you, sir, and thank you for being on the show. We will be back next week with another episode of Catch the Craze. But in the meantime, make sure that you subscribe, hit the like button, make the comments down below. Also, make sure you are notified of the pre-launch pages for There's Nothing in My Toilet and for The Adventures of Wonderduck. Both are right now live on Kickstarter. The pre-launch pages, hit those buttons, get notified, and follow it.
That's right. And with that said, I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera.
George the Dreamer Medina.
And we are out.
It's just easy. It's not.
Crazy. Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce.
Say my name, right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh,
he described me. He said, I'm the...
You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze on Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.